Hello, Internet people. We're back for episode 2 of season 2. And yes, it's raining outside. I'll stand on here to diminish the sounds of the rain. Does this look familiar? You might recall from my season 1 playthrough where I had a what I called a cave spider strip mining setup. Not strip mining. I guess it's branch mining. And I figured, okay, let's do that here again once I got my basic materials going. But I mixed it up a little bit. Obviously, you'd need bat form to use it this time. As you can see, you know, going into this hole here, you can see that, or that, and that, and then, you know, above you can see that, and that. This Swiss cheese of a wall means that you get to see every block in the chunk. This is a 16 by 16 setup. But I didn't do this by hand. Honestly, that would have been too much of a pain in the butt, so I decided to create a computer craft program to do it. And as you can see, he's finished off another section here. I'm going to pick him up here. So if you look at the chunks here, let's back up a moment. If you look at the chunks, you see that this here's one chunk, this is another, and the back wall lines up perfectly with the edge of the chunk boundary, and down at the ends of the tunnels they also line up. So this is a one chunk program that I've set up. So if I put the turtle down here and I do branch, actually, one second. I'm going to go get some charcoal because I don't think I've refueled it. The program that I've written is still pretty... Oh my god, it's loud. It's still pretty rudimentary. Mutant mushroom spawned there for some reason. I don't know why. But if we... do I want coal? Do I have charcoal? Yeah, I've got charcoal. All right. Rather use something that's renewable than something that's not. So anyway, the program doesn't... it's not like Excavate where it goes back and empties out at the end or anything like that. That's not quite sophisticated yet. All it does is do the little excavation thing. But it should save me a lot of time. So refuel all and branch. So what it does is it digs down. And the first thing it does is it digs out the end point here. This kind of place where you can access all of the pipes or the branches. And then it immediately turns and goes to the end of the chunk. Once it gets there, in a moment here, it's going to turn right, dig over a few, and then return back out. What's cool about this is that it'll do this, and then it'll when it goes to the next row, it'll automatically go over one. So like you see, the first row is right here, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shafts. The next row starts over 3, and then there's only 3 shafts, and then the next one starts over only 1, and then there's 3 shafts, and then the next one's over 4, and then there's 3 shafts, and then there's over 2, and then 3 shafts, and then we're back to 1. So branch will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels automatically. And what I'll probably eventually do is put in a repetition thing, so you can do, branch number of times to run. But right now it's still pretty basic. As you can see, it's finished up this first level here. It's now digging out the lobby. I don't know what to call this thing. But as it goes, see, it's going to come back and punch the right hole. So see, like that. So this is actually pretty handy. What I've done is I've used this to open up, clean it up a little bit for sake of YouTube, just so you can kind of see the pattern a little bit easier. But what this means is that I can now go into... Well, this is a bad example. There's nothing in this one. Let's find a mine shaft with some materials in it. There we go. So there we go. There's some, what is that, amber? So I'll go amber, I'll pick that out of there. And then I've basically saved myself having to do all this by hand. Now, part of me was originally going, when I was thinking of writing this program, well, why don't you just use Excavate? Let's just be done with it. Just use Excavate and be happy and whatever, move on. But as you remember, we ran into a bit of a problem with maintaining cobble. There's a lot of cobble that was required to excavate huge amounts for relatively small amount of resources. And that's the beauty about this thing, is that, it does collect cobble. Like at the end of every branch run, you really do have to empty out the turtle because he's pretty much filled his entire inventory, half of it with cobble. But it's dramatically less cobble than were you to just run Excavate 16 on this chunk. And while it does require a little bit more manual intervention because you have to actually, go down these mine shafts and look for materials. I think it works out a little bit better because this kind of a program is really only ever used for early days stuff. Like you're not going to use this as an actual end game mining solution. So, I mean, in terms of getting up and running, it's relatively cheap. Just get a turtle and get a pick. So you need a mining turtle, and then this program will do its thing. So I'm pretty happy with that. See, this thing is now going on to the next level. It's gonna keep digging, and let's see what will it come back with. It'll come back over another 2 and then dig into the wall. And did I? Yeah, I looked at that wrong. Never mind. Still don't even know my program. Now, there is some slight inefficiency to this in terms of the program itself. Now, you'll notice that when it gets to the end, instead of backing up all the way through the mine shaft, it just kind of goes over and digs. It reproduces this kind of weird kind of multi-level structure here. And I've also written it that if gravel falls, it'll keep digging out the gravel until, it won't lose its place just because it has to dig gravel again. But there is an inefficiency, and we'll see it right here, where it just turned and dug sideways for the 2 branches. When it gets to the 3rd one, it's just going to turn right back around and come out. And I could have made it go from, like, say, from that one down to this one and come out and whatever. But either way, it just seemed to result in having to redo this initial excavation for this trunk. So I just wrote it. It was a lot more easy. It was a lot easier. A lot more easy. Jesus. It was a lot easier to just write it to come back out at the end if you're only digging 3. So, whatever. Not really the end of the world. And as you can see, it actually does run really quickly. I was testing this earlier, and it's funny when you get code wrong. It's like it just lost track of where it was. It just starts digging off in a random direction, and like where did it go? And then you go look, and it's like 30 blocks in a different direction somewhere, and it's kind of lost its brain. But I think I got most of the bugs worked out on it. And once it returns here, I'll throw a paste bin code up here so that you can try it out for yourself. I mean, it's computer craft code. It's nothing too interesting or proprietary, but yeah, see, look, lots of cobble. We even get some materials back because it goes through there. So paste bin put branch. So there we go. DBRJDVP. Basically put that in. It's case sensitive. Paste bin. So you could do paste bin get DBRR JDVP, and then call it branch. I'm going to call it branch 1 because I already have a branch, but it downloads branch, and then you can see there's the code. So I'd say, I don't know how useful it'll be to people, but there's some cool things in here that I've put. I won't show all the code here, but function turnaround. I wrote that because I was getting sick of doing turtle.turnRight twice. So, you know, sometimes when I write this pert, I have it echo onto the terminal bright eyes, just, you know, for people that understand that reference. You know, this function dig down isn't safe. It's not protected from if it's blocked. But something like where's dig? Where's the actual dig thing? Nope, where did it? Dig forward. Dig forward does do a check to see if it actually does move, whereas dig down doesn't. But, you know, I'll leave that as an exercise for you to figure out how to improve that. You can use an if statement to detect whether or not the thing moved down or not. You know, one would assume that maybe the code here is backwards from what it could be with an if statement. So, and obviously the example for dig forward is right above there. So anyway, that should do it. Thanks for watching. And I think it stopped raining. So I'm going to go continue to work on some things, and we'll see you next time. Ooh, a spider. Die, spider.